Hey everyone, it's Carson here, back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the entire installation process of installing LED headlights, fog lights, and daytime running lights in the 2020 and newer Kia Soul. Ever since I've had this car, it has honestly been a fantastic vehicle, safety-wise, functionality-wise. It's just overall great, minus one thing. The one thing that sucks about this is the stock headlights. If you don't happen to have one of the higher end models of this vehicle that has the LED headlights that are included, the halogens that come with the lower ends are just trash. There's seriously no easy way to put it other than they seriously are some of the worst headlights that I've ever seen on any vehicles I've driven. So with that said, earlier this year I went out and tried to find myself an LED upgrade for the Kia Soul. But when you go and search for something like that, literally nowhere does it exist, because the H19 style fitting of these newer Kia Souls is such a new type of fitting for headlights that you can barely even pick up a halogen replacement for the headlights, let alone an LED upgrade kit. So when I went and found that, I actually went out and found myself a manufacturer who was able to make me some H19 style LED headlights that are completely compatible with the Kia Soul. And full disclosure, I am actually the one who's selling all the LEDs that I'm showing in this video. So if you are curious in picking up a kit yourself, check out the link down in the description to pick them up yourself. But in this video, I'll be covering the installation process of the Endurance LED headlights. I'll also be going and installing fog lights as well as the daytime running lights. You can pick up the headlights themselves as just this right here, or you can pick up the entire kit that can upgrade all three of your lights here on the front. So with that said, let's go first and show you what's inside the boxes, and then I'll be showing you the installation process for each. All right, so to start is the Endurance LED H19 headlights. This is what the box looks like. On the back, you've got some of the specs of the light itself, as well as the disclaimer that is required when selling LED headlights in the United States. Opening it on up, on top, you'll firstly get a little nice card, as well as the manual itself, which this does go through and cover the installation process, but since you found this video, good on you. You can watch this instead. There's also other stuff in there. But then below that is the headlights themselves. As you can see, these are fully LED headlights. They have milled aluminum enclosures with a cooling fan on the bottom of them. Attached to the cable that goes into the LED body is a decoder. And basically what this does is it will go and allow this LED to plug into your vehicle without any errors popping up on your dashboard. Other than that, there's one more LED included, but that is it that comes inside the Endurance LEDs box. Next up, the fog light kit. This one's pretty compact, but it comes packed with a bunch of stuff. First off, you've got some included gloves that you can wear to go and replace all of these lights. This only comes with the entire kit that has the fog lights, the daytime running lights, and the Endurance LEDs, so just keep that in mind. Right on top, you will have some instructions as well as information about the lights. You've also got some replacement O-rings. Then next up is the LED itself. As you can see, this one's pretty simple. This one just pops right in once you've got the bottom off, and yeah, there is one more of those, and that is it as far as the fog light kit. So let's open up the daytime running lights. The daytime running lights are the smallest of all. Right here on top of the lights, you've got a little information paper that has the installation instructions on the back, as well as our contact info if you happen to have any issues or questions. And then inside the two boxes are the daytime running lights themselves. Opening it on up, this is what it looks like. It's very simple. These ones are the easiest ones to actually replace, so if anything, this one will be the easiest step when we are going and installing them. But the other box just contains one more of these, and that is it as far as the unboxings go. Firstly, let's get to installing the Endurance LED headlights. In order to install, you will need to get yourself a plastic rivet removing tool. You'll also need yourself some gloves because there can be some sharp edges, and then you'll also want to get yourself some safety glasses, or if you just wear glasses, keep them on. The installation steps that I'm demonstrating in this video are applicable to both sides of the vehicle. However, I will be only showing one side. To start, you will need to turn the wheel away from the front bumper. Just wanted to make a quick note here to add in that I did not mention in my initial filming of the other side. When you are doing this, it's actually easier if you point your wheel outwards, even though everywhere online always says that it's easier to put it inwards. The reason being outwards is because then you can actually just tuck the plastic liner in on itself inside the wheel. So that allows you to go and just access the light really easily like this and not have to worry about holding the plastic liner back while you're doing everything else. So I would highly advise doing this. Also, there are a total of 3 plastic rivets on the bottom holding this in place, so make sure to take all of those out, not just this front one. Begin removing the plastic rivets by prying out the top first to loosen it, and then take out the base. Next, carefully peel back the plastic liner of the wheel well. This is a flexible plastic, but it's not the most flexible plastic ever, so you gotta be careful with it. Then you can hold it out of the way and get to accessing the headlight cover. Simply remove this by rotating counterclockwise and pulling off like so. There you've got your cover. Once the cover's been removed, you'll need to go and pull off the wire harness, which simply just pull off like so. Once the wire harness is removed, remove the wire retaining piece by pressing down and lifting up. Once that's up, remove the headlight by pulling out, and you've now removed the halogen headlight. Next, you will need to remove the plastic 3-prong retaining piece from the Endurance LED headlight like so. This is what it looks like. There are the 3 prongs here. The one that is centered between these 2 cutouts right here is the part that will be facing up when you place it inside the enclosure. This extrusion piece right here will be facing inwards towards the engine, and this flat piece will be facing out towards the headlight. Stick the adapter piece onto your pointer finger. Then you're gonna have to go and carefully stick this inside of the enclosure housing and place it into place without dropping it into the headlight enclosure. Some people have done it. You don't want to do it, believe me. Then once you've done that, push the retaining piece down and lock it into place. Once you've got the adapter and the retaining piece in place, this is what it should look like. Once again, like I said, be careful not to drop it because you've got a dark abyss down below if you happen to drop it. It is possible to fish it out, and it is possible to purchase a new one if you do happen to drop it, but there you go. To install the LED chip, place the LED in through the hole with the wire facing up towards the 2 o'clock position as if you were looking on a clock. Then rotate 45 degrees until the LED chip stops moving and the wire is facing down, and the LED is now installed. All you gotta do now is plug the wire harness into the wire harness of the LED, and then you can carefully tuck the wires into the headlight enclosure like so. Once you've got the wires tucked into the enclosure, make sure that they are free of the fan blades on the rear, and then place the headlight cover back into place. Then rotate it clockwise, and it is now locked into place. Next, place the wheel liner back into place by pressing up and tucking the plastic behind the front bumper. Then you'll need to just place the plastic rivets back into place by simply pulling out the top portion and sticking it through the hole. Press in to lock it into place. Just put these back into all of the positions that they were in before. And now you're all done. All you've got to do now is make sure to turn on your vehicle and make sure that the LED headlight turns on as it should. There you go. As you can see, that is the LED, that is the halogen. There's a pretty big difference, especially at night. Speaking of at night, you will need to align these at night just to make sure that they are positioned properly, and you can do that by just simply rotating the barrel of the LED. And you can do that by reaching through the hood, taking off that cap that's down here, and adjusting that way. It's much easier without having to go and take off the liner. You can simply just rotate the LED just to make sure that it is aligned. Next up is the fog lights, and for this one you will need a couple extra pieces of equipment, including a socket set. You will need a 10mm as well as a 15mm head. You'll also still need the plastic rivet removing tool, and you also need either a vehicle lift or some way of getting your vehicle up into the air. So right here I'm going to be using what are called rhino ramps. These are plastic ramps that you can drive your car up onto. It works fantastic with the Kia Soul. With heavier vehicles, not so much, but a Kia Soul is so light. Works fantastic for that. You can pick it up at pretty much any Walmart, Menards, Lowe's, Home Depot, or any store like that for around $60. So with that said, let's go and get the fog lights installed. Step number 1 is getting your rhino ramps underneath your tires if you're using this, or lifting your vehicle up if you're using another method. place your vehicle's emergency brake on so the vehicle won't roll down. Power off your vehicle, and you're ready to get underneath. Next up, after getting your vehicle up into the air, is getting yourself on some safety glasses, whether they be safety glasses or you're wearing glasses. You're gonna be operating underneath the engine. You don't want oil or some liquid or dust to drop down into your eye. You'll need the plastic rivet removing tool to go and remove 12 plastic rivets. They go all the way around this panel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just go ahead and remove all 12 of these plastic rivets by popping them out, like I spoke about before, popping out the top, and then subsequently pulling out like so. After you've removed all of the plastic rivets, next up you're gonna need your 10mm socket, as well as probably a drill. You could do this by hand, but there are 7 total bolts on the bottom of this. You've got 4 here in the front and then 3 in the back that you're gonna have to remove. I'd suggest starting in the back and then moving forward. Lastly is this plastic security socket right here that's on a threaded bolt just to hold the entire thing on if everything else comes loose. So this is where you'll need your 15mm. Just rotate counterclockwise while pulling down on the plastic piece. And you've now got it removed. See, this is exactly why you need to wear eye protection. I just got a bunch of water all over my face. Anyways, now that we've got that down, next step is locating the fog lights. As you can see right here, this is one of the fog lights. The other one looks exactly the same on the other side. In order to remove this, you're gonna need to disconnect the wire harness, press in, and rotate counterclockwise. There you go. You've now removed a fog light. Take your replacement LED and just basically reverse what we just did right there. Insert into the socket, press in, and then this time rotate clockwise. Once that's been done, plug the wire harness back into the headlight, pushing until it clicks, and you're all set. Make sure to go ahead and turn on your vehicle and verify that the fog lights are working, which, as you can see, even though it's incredibly bright outside, they are indeed working. So now let's go ahead and put the plastic cover back onto the bottom. So reversing what we did before, just take your plastic bottom panel, put it up into this, align some of your holes, and then make sure you've got this bolt that goes in this plastic retainer put into place. I would then first advise going and putting in one of the rear bolts first, just to get some support on the back before doing anything else so the thing doesn't fall down onto your face. Screw it in by hand a little bit, then put the rest in by hand. Then once you've got all 7 of the bolts in place but not tightened, I would advise putting all 12 of the plastic rivets in, because they can be pretty picky as far as if they don't align with the holes. So I would suggest just going ahead and putting these all in first and then going back to tighten all of the bolts. Then, like I said, go back with your 10mm and tighten everything down. And just like that, you have now installed LED fog lights onto your 2020 or newer Kia Soul. Now, of course, you have to get your car back off of the lift or however you got it up in the first place, and then you are now ready to go ahead and get into installing the daytime running lights. So let's get right to that. Lastly is the daytime running light, which this is actually the easiest one to install. So you've made it this far, you will get this one real easily. All you got to do is pop open the hood of your vehicle, which you do by pulling that lever right there. Then go up front, and down here there is a lever. So all you got to do is press that left and lift straight up like so. To gain access to the daytime running lights, those are located right here, this little tab, and right here, that little tab. All you got to do is rotate this tab counterclockwise and then pull straight out. And right there is your daytime running light. To remove this, you just simply press down, rotate left, there you go. Sit that one aside. Grab your new LED daytime running light and place this one in. You will have to pay attention to how these grooves are. Place it in and rotate clockwise. If it does not want to rotate, it's probably likely that you inserted the wrong way. So all you got to do is rotate 180 degrees, insert again like so, and you're all set. Now, All you've got to do is place this back into the enclosure, press in, and rotate clockwise. And there you have it. That is how you install the daytime running lights. Here's your comparison between the halogen and the LED. And just like that, with a little bit of work, sweat, and elbow grease, you now have installed LED headlights or LED headlights, fog lights, and daytime running lights. You're probably curious, well, how does it actually perform? I want to see how these work. So here are some before and after pictures. And the cool thing about this is that I set these up in this same exact location. They're all taken with the same exact camera in the same settings. So the ISO, shutter speed, and f-stop are all the exact same. And it really shows you how big of a difference it makes to have LED headlights over halogens. And another bonus of having LEDs is that with LEDs, they have a much longer lifespan than the typical halogens. Halogens only last around 1 year of use, whereas with an LED chip, you are typically seeing over 30,000 hours of use before they start to burn out. So you will be replacing headlights far less at a cost that lasts you much longer. Also, one more thing that I get asked all the time is whether or not installing LED headlights and all the other lights impacts the Kia Soul's ability to use its auto brights feature. And the short answer to that is no. It does not impact it actually whatsoever, because from my understanding, the way that it actually works is via the camera that's up on your windshield. That camera that's also used for the lane keep assist is the one that goes and looks for tail lights, headlights, or street lights to go and determine whether or not to turn on or off the auto brights feature. So installing LED headlights does not impact that whatsoever, and you still retain the same cutoff lines that you get with halogens, and everything else looks exactly the same except for it is just brighter. So with that said, that is pretty much it for this video. I really hope you found it helpful. Like I said, if you're interested in picking up any of these lights that I showcased in this video, you can click the link down in the description below to pick some of those up. Also, if you want to see any future videos from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and like this video to let me know that you liked it. Also, you can check out some of my other videos right over there. But with that said, that is it for this one. I hope you found it valuable and helpful. And with that said, hope to see you in the next video. Peace.